Get your Fess in the Kess, Part 2. I woke up this morning and I knew I had to sit and write this blog. My husband and I have been busting Fess around this house, and today I'm feeling a little kagoo. This is usually when my mind works the best, so let's see what kind of traka I can get myself into today. Some of our Cajun words we just cannot find the spelling for, so made up spellings are usually more often than not. I have talked to family about this many times, and they usually tell me arrête ça or tais-toi. It sometimes drives me cuckoo when I'm trying to write something using Cajun French but cannot find the spelling. I'm going to beg you to bear with me while I try to work my way through this with all the funny words and phrases given to me by my Facebook friends. We need a laugh sometimes. So let's talk about nicknames. Here in Salafouche, almost everyone has a nickname, or uses a name that isn't their first name. Well, since I was a petite fille, I've been known as Cooney. It was a nickname given to me by my grandfather, and it stuck. To this day, there are people who do not know my real name, and I'm okay with that. I usually introduce myself as Cooney. My brother's called T. Wayne. He's named after my father. And T means little or teat. So, he is T. Wayne. His son is Trey, because he's the third of the Waynes. I also have a cousin called T. Dan, T. Joe, and T. Jim. Yes, they're all juniors, but this is how we called him. Although, if I'm honest with you, T. Wayne, also sometimes called Bruiser, at some point in his life, and even T. Hoop, is the only one who uses his dad's real name. The rest are using nicknames of their father's names to make their nicknames. So T. Dan's dad is Danny, T. Joe's dad is called Joe, but is really Joseph. And T. Jim's dad is James. Confusing? Not really. I have an uncle on my mom's side who is a mere 5 years younger than me, and I call him T-Nonk. The rest of the family calls him T-Ted, because he's named after his father, whose name is not even Ted, but Theodore. I also have other friends and family members with nicknames. My brother is Willie, but oftentimes he's called Chili, and his son is also Willie, but we don't call him T-Will. Often, usually, we just call him Will. One of my great aunts, who I am close to and grew up in the back of her street, was named Elta, but we call her Tata. I know, we're strange. My husband and some of his family, go by their last name, or parts of their last name. Some days my husband is called Sim, and sometimes he's called Bug. I know of people called Milk, and Juice, and Shaws, and Shawi, and Foo. Nicknames are very common down here. So very common that sometimes people don't know a person's real name. Our grandparents are also called many different names. My great-grandma was called Grom. Her name was really Lillian, and her twin sister was Lilia, but others called them Tion and Tia. Little Lillian and Little Lilia. Other grandparents go by Mont and Pa, or Mamad and Papad. There are quite a few grannies and even a mem around, and we even use their nicknames when we talk about them. If we're talking about my paternal grandmother, I call her Ma Dot, not Ma Dorothy, because her nickname is Dot. One of my other great-grandmother's name was Marguerite. My side of the family called her Momogit, but some of the other family always called her the Red Momo. I always thought that was interesting. We also call our godparents Nanny and Parent, or Maran and Paran, Godparents are not always married to each other, so sometimes their spouses are called nanny and parent also. We call them nanny and parent and then their first or nickname. So my parent's wife was my nanny Mary, and my nanny's husband is parent Coco. And they were married to my parent and nanny. Let's move on to words that we say for emotions or when someone makes a face. So, bouder, to pout. And I promise, a lot of kids down here have heard the saying, don't make the bouder, make boudet. If someone's fâché, that means they upset. And oftentimes, when the cool wind touches my skin on a hot day, I get the frissons. When someone is upset or sad, they say, I have the grand cœur. Like having your heart in your throat, or you feel sad or like you're about to cry. Haunt is being ashamed or embarrassed. I often get haunt when I have to go live or when I video myself. At the beginning of this blog, you press play, and you are listening to me speak these words. As haunt as I am so grateful that I'm able to share some of these with you. It gives me the grand cœur knowing that so many of our younger generations are missing out on this great language. Let's try to rebuild our language piece by piece. In 2 weeks, unless something strange comes up again, I will be back with part 3, where we'll talk about bugs, animals, and sea life. I truly hope you're enjoying this. As always, cook good, Sha.